Hello and welcome to the Therapy by Craft YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. I am the maker behind Therapy by Craft, and this is my little corner of the internet where I like to talk about my yarny things. Mostly knitting, mostly socks, but today I have crochet. Find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Therapy by Craft. I'm mostly active on Instagram, and what's really funny is that last episode I was like, yeah, Socktober, so I am posting every day in the month of October over on my Instagram. And then as soon as I said that and I posted that, I stopped posting every day. So that was a fail, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I am still most active over on Instagram, so you can find me over there. Thank you to everyone who is here, who has subscribed. You guys are the best. Since last week, I actually did reach the 3,000 subscriber number here on YouTube, and that was very exciting. And of course that's the case, right? As soon as I'm like, I don't really care about it, then I hit that number. But last week I did announce a giveaway to kind of celebrate that or commemorate that. And you guys left so many comments and it was very, very sweet. And this is what I am giving away. It is two 50-gram sock skeins from Buku. They don't have numbers, or I mean, they don't have names or numbers, but I will go ahead and post the winner of this giveaway here. And if you can contact me by emailing me at therapybycraftpodcast@gmail.com, please give me your shipping information and I will get this mailed out to you, yeah, within the next week or so. So congratulations to you. Thank you so much for everyone who participated. I am very excited to get this into your hands so you can start whatever it is that you want to make with this. For those of you guys who didn't win, you will still have a chance to get your hands on some of Amanda's amazing yarn at the Fibre, Fibre Festival. That's happening over here in Pomona at the end of November. So I will be there. I'm pretty sure I'll be there both days, Saturday and Sunday. So come by and say hi. Yeah, last year was really, really fun. So yes, I'm excited for this year too. Okay, today I have one finished object. Last time, I think I shared like 10 pairs of socks with you, like 6 finished, 4 whips. Yeah, this time I just have one finished pair of socks to share with you, but I have so many other things that's been on my mind. My creative crafting energy has been quite chaotic. So it'll be less of a project show and tell and more of a here's what's going on in the chaos that is Eunice's mind. I hope you're here for it. Let's start with my finished object though. My one finished object. It is, ta-da, my Buku Stripes sample. Yeah. This is my sample that I made with Amanda's yarn. I make all of my socks on CowGoo Red Lace 32-inch circular needles, fixed circular needles, US 1 or 2.25 millimeter needle. I do all of my socks on Magic Loop. I followed roughly the pattern, the Vanilla Socks on Magic Loop pattern by Kay Litton of the Crazy Sock Lady. And this one I did my fraternal pair. This I did 2 round stripes, the heel flap and gusset, and this I did 5 round stripes with a heel flap and gusset. And there's actually a little secret with these socks that I didn't actually find out about, or I didn't really notice this until later, which is this cuff has 15 rounds and this cuff has 20 rounds. I was so bummed when I realized this. I think I was halfway to the foot of the second sock when I realized that the cuff, it wasn't the same. And yes, I am all about the fraternal socks, but not like that. Like that's not really what I was going for. I really did not do this on purpose. But can you tell? But that's okay, that's okay. I messaged Amanda and was telling her that it doesn't match, and she said, no, that's okay. I asked her if she wanted me to rip it back because I was willing to. I was gritting my teeth. And I was like, I don't want to rip it back, but I will because these are not for me. This is for Amanda. So if she really wanted me to rip them back, you know, I was willing to do that, but she said, no, that's okay. And if they're on my feet, no one's really going to see it anyway. So I said, okay, that's fine. But I started these on August 18th and I finished them October 11th. They were on my needles for quite a while, like almost 2 months. And that's because I paused these to work on my Dusty Yarn Co's like set of socks. And that was like the majority of the month of September. So this was put on hold. It was in hibernation for a bit. And then I pulled it back out once I was done with those projects to finish them up. And I love it. I love them. So something else about myself that I learned while I was working on these socks is that I think I'm really honing in on what I mean when I say fraternal socks, or the kind of design rules that I follow and my thought processes when I am sitting down to make a pair of socks that are the same but not the same. And one of the things that I kind of experimented with when working with this is I think what makes a really great pair of fraternal socks is that not everything about it is different. It's just different enough that it's not the same, but it still has components that make it a pair. So for example, when this is the first sock that I made. And when I was thinking about how I wanted to do the second sock, I decided to change one thing about it, which was to have the stripes be a little bit thicker. So again, like the 5 round stripes instead of the 2. But I also was thinking, oh, maybe I switch up the main color and the contrast color. But I thought that might be a little too much. So if I swapped the main color and the contrast color and then I kept it the same, like 2 round stripes, I think that would have been okay. But switching it up where the main color and the contrast color is swapped, and then I also change the width of the striping, I thought that might be a little bit too different, that you couldn't tell that it was a pair. Does that make sense? So at least in this pair, the cuff, heels, and the toes are the same color, which is how you know that it is a pair, like it's a set, it goes together. And the fraternal piece of it is that this one's 5 rounds and this one's 2. I made another pair of socks a while back with my Zauberball Crazy. And actually, why don't I just show you? Because it's a whip. This is the first sock that I had finished. So I started with the cuff where I guess the quote main color is this Zauberball color. And then I have striped in 5 rounds, the contrast color. I do have my charcoal and my burgundy kind of as an homage, a nod to the very first pair that I made, but for the most part, I mean, this is what it looks like. And then for the second sock, I switched the main color and the contrast color. So the cuff is in the white, and then I'm going to stripe in the Zauberball, but I'm keeping the width of the stripe the same. So these will also be 5 round stripes, but I switched the main color and the contrast color. I'm also going to move these accent stripes to the foot instead of keeping it up here in the leg. But yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't want to change up too many things, just like one, maybe two things, so that it remains a visible pair. Like it's very obvious that it does go together, but it's not so different that, you know, you wonder if it's just two completely mismatching socks. Does that make sense? Yeah, I don't know if I'm describing that very well, but all that to say, I was thinking about maybe doing a series or like a separate video, not like a podcast where I'm sharing my projects with you, but just a standalone video where I share more about how I design my fraternal socks. And I say design, I use that word very loosely because I'm not over here like, I don't know, actually designing. I feel like what I'm doing is I'm throwing out ideas of how to maybe make pairs that are matching but not so matching. But some of you guys seem to be very interested in this idea of fraternal socks. And so I'm like, oh, maybe I just put something together in case you're interested in that and you want to do that, but you're not really sure how to get started. And hopefully once I've curated enough pairs of socks to show examples of what I mean, yeah, maybe I just showcase them all together. And then that way you guys can, I don't know, have some inspiration for making your own pair of fraternal socks. But anyway, yeah, so back to these. This is my one finished pair for this episode. I am very happy with them. I blocked them and they turned out beautifully. I'm excited to give them to Amanda and she will have them for you guys at the SoCal Fibre Festival. I'm pretty sure these will be there with us. Is there anything else I wanted to say about that? I don't think so. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to whips. So this is, as I shared previously, this is my first, it's like a half finished object. Let me show you my floats actually. I didn't show my floats in the other sock, but I do like to carry up my yarn as long as it's less than 5 rounds or even 7. I think the most I've carried my yarn up was 7 rounds, but as long as it's like that, I usually just carry it up. I don't cut my yarn or anything. For these I did because I just, you know, used one color, but whoops, that's what my inside looks like. I'm surprised I didn't weave in my ends for this one. Anyway, I'm on my second sock. Like I said, my plan is to switch up the main color and the contrast color, and then these will be at the foot, but in reverse. So here I have the charcoal, then the burgundy, and then the white. And for this one, I'll have the, whatever, whatever, striping, my regular striping, and then I'll do the burgundy, then the charcoal. So it'll be kind of like flipped. And yeah, that's that. I have on here, oh, I did want to tell you guys. I have on here a little needle stopper. It's my little sushi needle stopper. And I got this from Buku. Amanda has all of my needle stoppers I got from Buku. I have really, really cute ones. Or she has really, really cute ones. And then I've purchased some of my favorites. And my 2.25 millimeter needles will both fit in one, like that. And here's why I do it. I never used to do this, but I had so I take my knitting with me, especially my sock knitting with me to work so that I can knit during my lunch break. And I can never decide on just one sock. I always have to bring like 2 or 3 projects with me, and I never work on all 3 of them, but you guys know what that's like, right? Like you just never know what you're in the mood for in that moment. So I overcompensate and bring like 3 project bags with me to work. I'm pretty sure my work bag is mostly knitting projects. I think I have like one thing in there for actual work, but everything else is knitting projects. But anyway, so I'm usually taking with me like 3 project bags, and I have to sort of like pack it into my backpack And the other day, I freaking impaled my hand. Like, it poked me and it drew blood. This was not a few weeks, it was like a month ago, but it drew blood. And I don't know. I don't think my needles are that sharp. Did I just like shove it that hard that it, I don't know. But anyway, I was very surprised. I did not expect for that to happen. And I don't know, that just really surprised me and shocked me. Never have my knitting needles like done me dirty like that. That was the first time. So I was trying to figure out, okay, how do I remedy this? Because I still need to I'm still going to be putting 3 projects in my bag every day. That's not going to change. But I need to do something to protect myself from my freaking knitting needles. And I also need to protect my project bags from my knitting needles because it had poked through my project bag into my hand. And I was not pleased with having this like hole in my project bag. And it was like a fabric that I was able to just kind of like maneuver around and close that gap. It didn't really puncture it that much. It just sort of shifted the fibers away from each other so that it could come through. So my project bag isn't ruined or anything like that, but it concerned me, you know? Enter the needle stoppers. I mean, I have so many of them. I don't know. I thought I wasn't going to need them anymore. They were just sort of sitting there since I stopped knitting garments, and I mostly used them when I was knitting sweaters and I had to like, you know, hold stitches for my sleeves on my needles or something like that. But now I use them for socks for my own safety and to protect my project bags, which is kind of nuts, right? But here we are. That's what happened. Speaking of project bags, I want to show you this. This project is being housed in my little cute kitty cat makeup bag. I got this off of Amazon. I like that it sits kind of flat. It's like double zippered, and it opens up nicely. I think there's a little, yeah, there's a zipper pouch on the inside. And I got this for maybe like 10 bucks on Amazon. And it works great. It is great for stripy socks because it holds a good, like a 2 50-gram cakes very easily. It holds 2 socks. I like to knit my socks in tandem usually, but for like stripy socks, I've been doing them more one at a time, but it fits them nicely. I have my little notions tin or whatever that I stick into here, and it holds everything it needs to. And the pattern is so cute. So yeah, that's my project bag. Okay, next is another kitty cat bag by Barley Purl. Ta-da! It's so cute. I think this is the one that might have gotten impaled. Is it? I don't know. But anyway, in here is housed another sock project. And this one I am knitting in tandem. And after last episode, I was just too curious. I needed to get them on my needles ASAP. Okay. So it is this sock here. It is one of my Simply Sock Yarn Co.'s self-striping yarns. Doesn't this have the best, like, what is it? It reminds me of, it's a very like academia November-y fall. I don't know. It just reminds me of like varsity colors, but for what school? I don't know. But it gives me a very collegiate vibe, these colors. I don't know. I really like it. And another way that I wanted to do these socks in a fraternal situation was to pull from both the inside, or to pull from the inside for one sock and to pull from the outside for the other sock. Because it's self-striping, I was hoping that the patterning would go one way, like cuff down on one of the socks and toe up on the other sock. Not that I was going to be knitting them that way, but the patterning, I wanted it to kind of go in opposite directions. And to achieve that, that's what I did. I started one sock from the inside and one sock from the outside, but then this yarn foiled me. It didn't work out because the patterning is palindromic. Palindromic? It's a palindrome, the colors. What that means, and I hope I'm using that right, I don't even know. But what that means is that the patterning is the same backwards and forwards. So look, let's say we start with the red here. It goes red, blue, black and white, blue, red, brown, speckled. And then back the other way, brown, red. It's the same. It's the same this way or that way. So even though I started these two socks from the opposite end, if I line them up just so, you'll see that it's the same. It's the same backwards and forwards. I'll prove it by turning it this way. Nope, see? It's the same backwards and forwards. So, well, so yeah, that kind of screwed over my plans a little, but I'm not mad about it. I think that's so cool. I think it's so cool that the yarn did that. I don't think I've worked with another like self-patterning yarn that did that. So yeah, that was a very pleasant surprise. And if you remember, I made it was like the green self-striping pair of socks last episode. And I was saying to you guys, like, I don't know if I love it, do I hate it, I don't know. But working with this, I actually really like it. I think I'm leaning way more towards the I love it side than the I hate it side. It very much feels like West Yorkshire spinners, very much so. To the point where I pulled out a West Yorkshire spinner solid colorway in, I think this is mustard? I don't remember. I don't remember what the colorway is, but I'm using the yellow for the heel. And I think it's a great color to go with this yarn because there are yellow flecks in this portion of the, I don't know, the pattern, but there's no yellow anywhere else. I just am getting like Thanksgiving vibes with this. It feels kind of like, but a very specific kind of Thanksgiving. It's like the Thanksgiving when you're back home from college and you have finals to study for. So it's not really a break, but it is kind of a break because you get to study at home instead of, you know, in your dorms. I'm from Texas originally. So, you know, I was in my dorm, but for Thanksgiving, you don't have to study in your dorm. You can study in the comfort of your childhood bedroom. And it's like cold outside, and my Korean American mom would cut up fruit for me so that I would have fuel when I study. And it's like, yeah, that's the kind of November Thanksgiving vibe that this brings out for me. And I don't know why, but it does. Yeah. So I'm very excited to be finished with these socks, hopefully in November. I am pretty fixated right now on my blankets, as you will see, but I'm very excited for these to be done because I want to wear them in November. I want to wear them a lot in November. Yeah. And I'm in the middle of my shadow wrap heel over here. Oh my gosh, my yarn is getting so tangled. but I'm in the middle of my shadow wrap heel. Some folks were asking me like, what's my favorite type of heel right now? And it is the shadow wrap heel as of late. I don't know. I do like the slip stitch heel flap and gusset. It does fit very nicely, but I don't know. I don't like that the heel comes in 3 parts. You do the heel flap, then you do the turn, and then there's the gusset portion, which also kind of messes up the patterning or the pooling of the yarn colors. And so that's really been bothering me, and it feels, for whatever reason, like it takes longer to do. That might all be in my head, but that's just kind of where I'm at the moment. So I've been leaning more towards the shadow wrap heel instead of doing the heel flap and gusset. If it is for a friend though, or if I'm gifting the sock, then I will do a heel flap and gusset because more people seem to like the fit of the heel flap and gusset better, and I want the sock to fit my friend or the recipient better. I want that more than I want to not do the heel flap and gusset, if that makes sense. I'd rather it fit them really well and me just suffer through a little bit more work with the sock, because in the end, I want them to be able to enjoy it and get a lot of wear out of it. And I would hate for me to go through this process of just doing like a shadow wrap heel for my sake, only for them to never wear it because it's uncomfortable, you know? Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so back to these socks. I am doing the shadow wrap heel. I like the yarn, I've decided. It's giving me a lot of cozy Thanksgiving vibes. And I am using my Tetris needle stoppers, again from Buku. I love these. I love Tetris. Do you guys like Tetris? I'm like all about Tetris. Ugh. I Tetris these socks back into here actually. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, so that's that. Next are another pair of socks that I am keeping in here. So right now I have 4 sock whips going. This is my other stripy socks. It's in my A Needle Runs Through It. I think this is the large bag. It is very, very cute. I just saw recently that she updated their shop. I know that they had done a couple of shows and they are now, I think they restocked their Etsy shop. So take a look at her Etsy shop if you're interested in one of these. I saw this pattern or this like fabric in her shop also. I don't know if it's still available, but she had it in the medium-sized box bag. So if you're interested, go check it out. This bag is housing my McMullin Fibre Co. socks. This is what it's looking like so far, and I am in love. Oh, I have these tulip needle stoppers, but the hole in this is kind of big, so it's not wanting to stay on. See? The hole's a little bit larger. Anyway. This one has the heel already, and this one is ready for the heel. Oh my gosh, isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I love them. They're so pretty. Oh, I love McMullin Fibre Co.'s colorways. Seriously, they're so, I don't know, they're so good. And I love how they work up individually, but also together. I've only worked with her mini sets, so I don't have like a full skein of her yarn. I just have like 20 grams from her last year's advent, but also I had gotten like her impressionist colorways, like a 12 set mini set, 12 count mini set. Oh, what are words? And those worked up really beautifully too. Oh, I love them so much. So this is how it's going so far. I haven't made that much progress since the last time I talked to you guys about it. And it just goes to confirm that I don't really like very much working with 2-ply 80/20 bases. I even reached out to her, the dyer at McMullin Fibre Co., and I told her about how much I love her colorways, and I asked her if she had 4-ply options. And really, it's not the 80/20 thing that bothers me. It really is the 2-ply that bothers me. And unfortunately, she does not have 4-ply bases, or a 4-ply base. But I'm trying to figure out what I can do to change up my experience of knitting with the 2-ply yarns. I do have an idea. I think I am determined to still make 3 pairs of socks with her Advent from last year, because the colorways are gorgeous, and I just feel very determined to put them into socks, because the other socks that I have that used McMullin Fibre Co.'s yarn, I wear them a lot. I wear them all the time. They are not, they're pilly because I wear them so much. I wear them hard with my Birks, but I love them. I keep like reaching for them. So I am determined to make socks with them. But here's what I'm gonna do. Here's my plan. I'm gonna finish these socks out in my US ones. I do 64 stitches, and yeah, I like the fit of that. But I think what I'm gonna do for my next pair is I'm gonna go up a size and do maybe a 2.5 millimeter needle and go down my stitch count. So instead of doing 64 stitches on US 1s, I'm gonna try 60 stitches on US 1.5. And I'm hoping what that'll do is it'll compensate, I guess, for the extra floof that's in the fiber itself. And I will have a more comfortable gauge that's not so tight, because really it's not the fabric that's bothering me, it's the tightness of the gauge that's bothering my wrists and my hands. My hands are hurting. So I'm wondering if going up a needle size but going down the stitch count will still produce the size of the sock that I like in a fabric that's not as dense, and ultimately it won't hurt my hands as much. And if I can do all of that, then I can buy more McMullin Fibre Co.'s yarn. All of this so I can have more of her colorways, you guys. Like, that's how much I like it. But that's my plan. I'm hoping to get done with these within the next month or so that I can try out my plan with the next pair of socks, and I'm hoping that that will really, you know, rev up my engine. And I want that to be successful so bad, because I want more of the 80/20 2-ply bases. I want to be able to work with them. I don't like that I am restricted with that base. And again, it just hurts my hands when I knit with them. So that's what that is. Ugh, the needle stoppers keep coming out. Okay, I'm gonna have to get a different needle stopper for this project. But anyway, well, that's my plan for these ones. Lastly, in terms of sock whips, it's in my ice dyed project bag from my friend Lisa. And these ones are my Creepin' It Real socks by Arcane Fiberworks. So this base is a 3-ply base. It's not a 2-ply base. It's not a 4-ply base. It is a 2-ply base. And I believe it's the 80/20. It's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon blend. And I like this. On my US ones, this is fine. It's just that 2-ply. But I'll stop. I think you guys get the picture. I am this far on both of the socks. So I'm almost ready for the heel for both of these socks. Ugh. And it's so cute. It is so creepy and Halloween-y, and I really like the colorway. this has my little monster stitch markers, or I mean stitch stoppers. Can you see? There we go. There we go. It's so cute. It's so, so cute. I think Sam might have picked these out and she wanted to have them for what, I don't know, but I stole them from her because I wanted to use them for my creepy Halloweeny socks. I am knitting all of my socks to participate in the Falling Leaves sock KAL, as well as the Dana Ray Makes Socktober knit along. But this one in particular, I am also reading this book by Joe. So Joe Nesbo has, I think this is one of his newer books. He is a Danish author, a Norwegian author. He's a European author, and he has this whole series. I think it's the Harry Hole series, the detective series, and it's super creepy, and it's a psychological thriller, like The Snowman. That's the one that like comes to my mind, like in the forefront of my mind the most. But anyway, so he has this whole series, and I remember many, many years ago when they first came out, I would read his books, and I'd be scared to go to bed, but I was so hooked that I would, I'm like grown up, I'm a grown up, and I would have like a flashlight and like read under the covers because I was scared, but I also couldn't stop reading. But yeah, that's that author, and he came out with a new book recently, and this is the book, and this is the socks that I am knitting alongside reading this book. And I think the colorway goes so well with this book cover. So that makes me very, very happy. But yeah, okay. And that's it. Those are my sock whips. I have 2 vanilla socks, this one and my my self-striping one. And then I have 2 socks that are a little bit more scrappy, or, you know, like striping, where I have to manage the yarn a little bit. And that seems to be a really good number for me. I'm really comfortable with that combination. But all of that has slowed down quite a bit because the weather turned, it got a little bit cooler. It's a little warm now. This week has been kind of warm, but it was a little bit cooler last week. And so of course I wanted to bust out with all of the blankets, and I have 2 blankets that I have brought back out from hibernation to work on. The first is my Jelly Roll blanket. This is my Jelly Roll blanket. This is probably not the best way to showcase it, but that's what I've got going on. This little marker here, this little head chalk marker here, marks where I was when I pulled it out of hibernation. Since then, so I finished that strip up to here, and then that's the 10th strip. And then now I'm on the 11th one here. It is quite tall. I think it's like as tall as me, maybe. It's garter stitch, so it's very squishy. There's no way I can show all of this, but there it is. It is the Jelly Roll blanket by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. And my plan is to make this 15 stripes wide. So this is 10, and then I'm gonna do like 5 more. And I think that that'll be the perfect size for Samantha to use, for me and Sam to like cuddle under the blanket while watching, I don't know, The Grinch. She freaking loves The Grinch. So lately she's been into the Lorax, but you know, while we're watching our little shows, we can both cuddle under it. And I love the garter. I don't know, I just really love the squishiness of the garter. I have in my Ravelry projects page notes on how I've modified this to make it DK weight. I'm holding fingering weight double. I'm using 10 grams each, like little 10-gram balls. I am a subscriber to row 1. Ooh, it's gonna crinkle. This is the September colorways, but the glare. I do use the row 1 minis, but I've also made my own like 10 to 12 gram minis in order to kind of get over the hurdle I had in my brain with these blankets. I have another video that I'll link talking about my blankets. I was also, for whatever reason, furiously working on these blankets in the summer, but I talk more on that episode, how I overcame my hurdles in working with some of these Scrappy blankets. But anyway, this is my Jelly Roll blanket. I have been working on this at nighttime, and since my sock projects are more portable, I take those with me to work on at work during my lunch. But my lunch breaks are anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, so I don't have that much knitting time each day, especially if I'm dividing them up into 4 different socks. And then the blankets are what I'm working on at night when I'm at home, because I can, and it's not as portable, and I have everything with me within reach. I don't think there's anything more I want to say about that. I am weaving my ends in as I go. So you see the little tails there, but what I'm planning to do is once I am done with the blanket and I have my I-cord border and all of that, I am actually going to soak it. I'm actually going to soak the entire blanket, and then I'm going to spin it in my washing machine. And after I've spun all the water out, then I'll probably lay out some towels here on my bed and lay it out to dry. And that's probably, like, I'm probably only going to do that once a year or once every other year. But because I'm using scraps, I don't want to just steam it. I don't want to just, I don't know, like spritz it. I really do want to have a good wash to get all of the, I don't know, dust. It's been sitting, you know, yes, I have it in a bag or whatever, but I don't know. I want to take care of it a little bit better. So once I do that, then I will go and trim my ends. But everything is woven in already. All I got to do is at the end after soaking. Okay, the other blanket that I've been working on is my DK Weight Granny Square Scrappy blanket. Oh, so good. Since I pulled it out of hibernation, I've made 6 additional squares, and I am using the scraps that I received from a viewer. Her name is Celeste, and she reached out to me a couple weeks ago asking if she can send me one of her Scrappy advents that she put together, and I said yes, and she sent it over. I am not very, I don't know, I don't really follow the rules when it comes to advents. I don't like opening them up every single day. I mean, I think that's cute, and you know, that's fun, but I know that if December comes, well, not if, December is coming. When December comes, I'm gonna be really overwhelmed if I have to open up a colorway each day and then wind it up and then use it like on a daily basis. I mean, I can barely snap a photo and post it on Instagram every day for Socktober. So in terms of using the yarn, yeah, I don't enjoy pressure. I don't particularly like the sense of feeling overwhelmed, so I'm not going to do that to myself. And instead, I opened Celeste's Advent. I opened all the scraps she sent over to me, and they're so beautiful and they're so cute. And I divided the 20 grams into 10-gram minis. Like, I split them in half, and I just started using them. I have them in a bag here, and I am grabbing them out of the bag in order to make my squares for my granny blanket. I had to put some of my scraps in there because some of her balls of yarn were non-superwash yarns, and I didn't want to mix my superwash with my non-superwash yarns together. So I just have superwash yarn in this blanket, but look at my squares. I am holding my fingering weight double. I'm pulling from the inside and the outside, and I'm making 10 round granny squares. I'm also pretty much weaving in my ends as I go. But I'm so happy with the colorful, funky, yeah, I love it. I think it's really, really fun. I'll show you, let me show you. This is what my blanket looks like so far. Currently it is 3 by 6 squares. And this is how wide it is. And I found out, I did some math, and I found out that if I make a 6 by 8 square blanket, it'll be big enough to cover my daughter's bed. Like, she has a twin size bed, and it'll be enough to cover her entire twin size bed. So my plan, and I feel so energized and motivated for this. My plan is to have a blanket that is 6 squares by 8 squares so that she can have it on her bed. Like, she can use it at nighttime and she can like be cuddled up in it. Like, she loves my yarny blankets and I am here for it. I, up until this point, have made smaller blankets, like Lapcan size blankets, but I don't need like 10 of them. I don't need that many. I just need, I don't know, I think I just want a good handful of practical, usable blankets that actually can go over the bed. The jelly roll blanket, it's sort of like the height of the jelly roll blanket is already pretty much determined because I started it the way that I did. But this one, because it's granny squares, I can add to it and make it as big as I want it to. My mitered square, my Cozy Memories blanket is also one where as long as you just keep adding squares to it, you can add as many as you want. So that one also, I think, is going to be on the larger side, larger than how I typically make my blankets. And then I have another fingering weight granny square blanket that I haven't really worked on, so I won't show it today, but that one too, I think I want to make it pretty big. Because why not? Like, why have a bunch of small blankets when you can have big cozy blankets that you can like actually sleep under? You know what I mean? Anyway, the key for me is having options. The key for me is that I can stop whenever I want to, but I don't have to stop. So these granny square blankets are perfect for that. Okay, so yeah, those are the 2 blankets that have really taken over my energy. I am scared, not really scared, but I am suspicious that these squares might also start taking over my lunchtime making at work, because these are pretty portable. I can just grab a handful of balls, like my little minis, to work with me to make these squares, and these are pretty portable. So I don't know what's gonna happen to my sock knitting, but I'm very excited for these blankets. Let's see, was I gonna say anything else? I thought there was something else I was gonna say about the blanket. Each square I have found is about 38 grams. And I think with the border, it ends up being about 40 grams. So each 10 round granny square made in fingering weight held double on or using a 5mm hook. This is my clover hook, which is my favorite. Takes up about 38 to 39 grams of yarn, which is really exciting because that means that at the end of this is gonna be a beautifully weighted, like, it's gonna be so cozy. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so nice. And when I weigh all of this together, it's gonna be great, because these 6 squares, when I weighed them last night, I think it was like 260 grams or something like that, which is an amazing use of scraps, is it not? Okay, anyway, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is actually footwear. It is cozy season. It is sweater weather. I am definitely pulling out my knitted socks to wear, and I am wearing them more regularly, which I love. I am all about that. So I recently purchased some boots. I think it's called, is it Bloodstones or Bloodstones? I don't know. It is the number 500. That's the boot that I purchased. And I realized when I was purchasing these boots that sock knitting has become my entire personality. Like, that is my entire personality. Everybody who knows me for any length of time will very quickly learn that I am a sock knitter. And I am now purchasing footwear for the purpose of wearing my hand knit socks with them. Yeah, I have a couple of pairs of Birkenstocks because I like wearing my socks with my Birks. I have these new boots that are coming in. I am on the lookout, and I have been on the lookout for those clear Ugg boots. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? They're Ugg boots, and I think they're rain boots, but they are all clear. And I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for my size, because I think Amazon has a pair, but they only have it in a certain size, and it's not my size, so I cannot purchase them. But I am on the lookout for clear Ugg boots so that I can wear my hand knit socks with them. And the length of my pants is adjusted so that I can show off my socks. My outfit in the day when I'm thinking about what I want to wear to work, it is with hand knit socks in mind. Like, it has become an entire personality for me. So I am curious, do you guys have specific things like footwear or clothes or pants or things that are not knitted that you own so that you can wear it and highlight your knitted objects? I am very curious. Let me know. If you could comment and let me know like how you style your knits, I would love to hear it, especially footwear. I think I'm also on the lookout for some, like, I don't know, either Doc Martens or some like cute Mary Jane shoes that I could wear with my hand knit socks, because I also like wearing dresses to work. I don't know. I just am very, very curious. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have for you. I have mostly whips and then blankets. Yeah. And next time I see you guys, it'll be early November, and I will keep you guys posted on how much I got done in October for my October stats. And maybe, just maybe, I am making 2 Scrappy Advent boxes to send over to a couple of my friends. And I am really just flirting with the idea of maybe doing a giveaway here for one of my viewers or my Instagram followers. I feel like I do more giveaways here on YouTube than I do on Instagram, so I might do a Scrappy Advent giveaway on my Instagram account in early November. We shall see, because it's been kind of fun making these Scrappy Advents, or just like having them. I just receive so much joy from it that, yeah, that's something that I'm flirting with. But also Celeste, who sent me her Scrappy Advent, I think she might have a couple on her Ravelry page, and I think she also has some on her D-Stash website. So I will link that down below as well if you're interested in maybe getting your hands on Scrappy Advents as well. I know for Celeste, she is planning to donate the proceeds to her local food bank. So I don't know, just some fun things in the horizon. But anyway, wherever you are, I hope you're doing well and that you're having lots of good making time, or even if it's not making, whatever time that you want, time where you can do whatever you want to do. I hope you're getting that this, you know, fall season. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. Bye.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wings.